Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing well. Happy Valentine's Day if you happen to see this recording on the day that I'm taping it, which is Valentine's Day. Spirit led me to do a taping for you all today on this Mars-Pluto conjunction that is happening today, February 14th. And what's historic about it is apparently this particular transit has not happened in almost 2 centuries, like over 140 years ago, if my reading was correct. So this really is an interesting energy that we have right now, you all, when we think about, and that it's hitting on Valentine's Day while the sun is in Aquarius. All of the associations that we make, the love, the feeling of love that we have, whether you're single, attached, otherwise, it is self-love, it is love for another, it is human love, it's love for humanity, it is love for our pets, it's just loving nature, love, the essence of love, the greatest power, the greatest source. I think all of us would argue is love, right? All right. So really struck by the fact that these two powerful planets, Mars, the planet of aggression, the planet of absolutely having a vision and a focus for how things can go forward and should go forward, can't stop me, won't stop me kind of energy, can sometimes be overly aggressive. It is Mars rules Aries. So you think about the self and sometimes putting the needs of the self forward in a way that you want to feel like it's healthy, but at times if it goes too far, that Mars energy can make the person or the situation a little worse because you can come across as a little selfish. So I know that is a cautionary energy that we've got right now with this Mars-Pluto conjunction, because Pluto, as we know, does not play. Pluto is like the deepest of the deep transformations. I will blow it up, but if I have to do that, it's because I'm trying to make something better out of it. All right. So having said that, we're going to go into love without limits, because with these two energies, you all, Mars conjunct Pluto, it's like if you really are feeling the need for more love in your life, the need to feel loved, even if it is how you express it to yourself, and developing better habits to feel it in your own life, now is that time. All right. So what I've done, kind of switching it up, I like to keep it interesting for you all. This is a pick a card. I have not seen these cards except for the catalyst cards. However, and I'm going to show you what the catalyst cards are so you can make your choices. So let's do that. In keeping with Mars energy from the tarot, one catalyst is the Emperor. The Emperor is ruled by Mars, a very Aries-like energy, that energy of having a command of your space, having a vision going forward, being that person, being that boss. And it's not gender specific. It is more of an attitude, of an energy of knowing that you will get what you want. It is, sometimes a take no prisoners kind of approach where, no is not an answer, right? That's the energy of the Emperor, or part of the energy of the Emperor. And also keeping in mind that this is a very much about the divine masculine and having that sort of yang, yin yang energy, but that male energy that shows up to complement the female. All right. So that's the Emperor. And that is one of these cards. Now I mixed them up. I don't know which is going to come in what order. So I'll explain more in a moment. But what I did was, well, let me do it now. Spirit says, do it now. Be clear. So I took 3 major arcana related to Mars and Pluto while the sun is in Aquarius. So we have the Emperor, which deals with that Mars energy. We have the Star, which is in tarot, is ruled by Aquarius, right? It is that energy of thinking about, and it's an interesting dynamic because Aquarius can be very self-focused. It is about having the wherewithal to understand how you want to make fundamental changes in your life, and talking about that vision from the Emperor, having a vision for your life and being willing to accept the changes that come along with that. But it is also, Aquarius and the Star is about the larger picture. It is about the things that you do, even if you have a rebellious nature, even if you're a little eccentric and you're willing to go your own way, very often it's because ultimately you're going to take others with you. You're going to, make changes that are beneficial to your family, your job, the people you love, the people around you, and most certainly in the love realm, the way you love yourself and the way you demonstrate your love to others. Okay? So, Star card, Aquarius, the Emperor with this Mars energy, and here we go. The Tower, representing that Pluto energy, all right? But here's the thing, very often people freak out. They feel like the Tower is probably one of the scariest cards in tarot. I'm not going to argue with that. It's definitely an eye-opening energy, but check it out, you all. Yes, she's on her phone like, what the heck just happened? There's sort of a 9/11, not to trigger anyone, but, a 9/11 energy here. And I hope that as you see this, it doesn't impact you that badly. All right. I want to say that Spirit's telling me be aware of that. But this energy is even as disruptive, as wild as it is. Look at these protective energies. Look at that bird, that I think that's a raven, that feels like, and the spirit guides that are up there in the clouds above, saying basically, as Pluto does, even in the worst circumstances, or sometimes what looks like a terrible circumstance can be the precursor to a new way of life that ultimately will benefit you. So when we're talking about this in the context of love, you all, the Tower sometimes comes in a love reading when our approach to having love in our lives, more love in our lives, is what fundamentally has to shift, all right? So it's more of a breakthrough than a breakdown, all right? So these three cards, the Emperor, the Star, and the Tower, are here. I don't know which pile. I didn't want to give that away, and that's where I want sort of the mystery of this reading and the spirit guides to come through in this reading. I think it'll be more meaningful for you that way, because you are going to choose one of these piles, and you'll do it based on which one of these stones you're most attracted to. So pile number 1, it will be, there's this Selenite heart. That's pile number 1. Pile number 2, it's a piece of Serpentine. That's what this is. A piece of Serpentine for pile number 2. And for pile number 3, if you're drawn to that, it is a Smoky Quartz heart. Notice the hearts for Valentine's Day. I didn't have a third one. I was looking around, or I'm sure I have one somewhere, and I just couldn't locate it. So again, we have the Selenite heart, pile number 1. We have the beautiful piece of Serpentine, pile number 2. And we have the Smoky Quartz crystal, pile number 3. Again, each of these piles is going to be, I don't know which is which, but one of these piles is the Tower. One of these piles, the catalyst, is the Star. And the third pile, the catalyst, is the Emperor. All right, you all? So hone in on these energies, these crystals a little more, so your guides and your intuition can tell you which pile you need to know more about and understand, and get some guidance on love with no limits, especially with this Mars and Pluto Mars conjunct Pluto transit. While Mars is in Aquarius, like, wow, you all, the opportunities. Yes, a lot of these changes are a little like, whoa, somebody pumped the brakes. But on the other hand, it holds so much promise and potential, as long as we can keep our vibration up and ready to match that. All right, let me take a sip of water and go in. All right, you all, I'm going to put pile number 3 and 2 to the side. And let's go in. For those of you who were drawn to the Selenite, pile number 1. Here we go. You chose the Star. Your catalyst is the Star. All right. So, and we already went in on the intro to the video around a lot of the energy that the Star presents. That's that Aquarius energy. It's hopeful. It's patient. It's understanding that things take time. So that's your catalyst card. I'm going to put that right there. Yeah, make sure you can see that good. So let's see what cards came for you. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Swords. The Hermit. Push this over. I'm working a little upside down, you all. So thank you for bearing with me with technical stuff. All right, we've got Page of Cups. We have some guilt going on, huh? I'm going to put that with that Knight of Swords. I think that's, that's with the Hermit. And that's okay. So love without limits is part processing and healing. All right. We have a rhodonite. Wow. Harmony. What a beautiful stone. Talking about, love and unlimited love. That is a beautiful healing stone for love. I'm going to put that rhodonite right up under that selenite crystal. All right. So that's a good crystal for you all. If you chose pile number 1, the rhodonite crystal is very good for you during this time. You have clairvoyance and some goblins. Ooh, so let's get rid of the fears, why don't we? And we have, move this up a little bit. Just want to make sure. There we go. Because you all will fuss at me if I don't have my act together. But I take it all. Constructive criticism is always good. And I want to make sure that if you're going to be with me and on my channel, it needs to be, it needs to be right. It needs to be in a way that makes you feel like you're getting what you need and the clarity that you need. We have courage and bravery. In stillness, I receive. Uranus, change. Notice, this is again the beauty of how Spirit works with these picker cards, you all. Again, if you were drawn to this, you picked the star, and the star is ruled by Aquarius. What is Aquarius's planet? Uranus, right? You see how beautifully, and it says change. You see how beautifully Spirit confirms. When you use your intuition, you allow yourself to go with what you really feel, and then you see how the patterns emerge where Spirit is here with you, talking to you and giving you this message. All right, and you can readily change your results by shifting your beliefs. A lot of change coming through for you all, pile number 1. Change, and that change is what leads to love with no limits. Because as you break through in this attitude of accepting and embracing change, then your opportunities for love and the way you look at love, the way you vibrate to attract more love for yourself, for the environment, romantic love, all the different ways, abundance, all the different ways that love shows up in our lives, that we think about it, that we try to work with it. All right, let me bring that down. I feel like I want to bring that into you a little bit closer. Okay, so let's go in. Give me a moment to take all this in, because again, I do not see these cards until I show them to you. I work with so many different decks. It saves you about 15 minutes of sitting here watching me flip cards if I do it this way. So here we go. This transit for you, this Mars and Pluto transit for you, pile number 1, all of this change that we're seeing, but it is change that brings hope. It's not change that makes you feel like the rug is being pulled out from underneath you, or like you've got to suddenly wake up tomorrow and be somebody entirely different. This is really more about a state of acceptance, of allowance. That's the word Spirit is giving me, is allowing yourself to receive the changes that are going to bring you what you want. Queen of Pentacles was one of your cards. That is having what you need and having it to the point where you can be completely generous with it. Remember, with that Uranus, Aquarius energy, the star, the goal is you want what you want. Love for yourself, but also, and to feel loved. But what do we do when our love tank is full? Most of us, the first thing we want to do is share that feeling. And that's what the Queen of Pentacles does. She's completely generous. She's very open. There's no lack mentality here. And so for some of you, part of this change is if you've had limiting beliefs around lack, around your ability to attract love, keep love, sustain it, live in a mindset of understanding your worthiness, then that's what she's coming to speak to. And there's the healing that's going on with it. Remember, you got that Hermit card with the Page of Cups, because this love without limits and Mars and Pluto conjunction for you all is it's saying here. Go with that ring light. And thank you. Someone said to me, Afefe, we ain't worried about the ring lights. We're just here for the message. We understand. I can't remember who said that to me, but thank you again if you're watching this. So the Hermit and the Page of Cups. There is a healing that's happening. And that's why the Knight of Swords is here connecting those. Because the change, Uranus being an air element, the star being an air sign, or I'm sorry, Aquarius being an air sign ruled by the star in tarot. That's what's happening. Air, swords. And there is with a knight, knights are about movement. So this is the change is movement, changing your thoughts about your ability to have love. In stillness, I receive. Again, we have a beautiful confirmation of energy, just like we had between Uranus and that star card. Notice here we have the Hermit. And in stillness, I receive. What does the Hermit do? The Hermit has to sometimes go off to themselves. So you may need to step away and spend some time during this transit. And even though for some of you that's going to be difficult because Mars says act now, do what you got to do. That Aries, get it done, get it done, get it done. But for you all, pile number one, before you jump out there and get it done, there's a first step that you all have to take to allow. There is something within you that has been walled off, and I also think that's why you chose in this pile with the Selenite. Your healing gemstone is the Rhodonite, which is a powerful energy. Harmony, right? Out of clutter, find simplicity. In stillness, I receive. How much simplicity is that? That Hermit, sometimes you got to step away and really get your mind right, get your vibe right with spirit, with the higher source, however you identify, with your higher self. In stillness, you talk it through. Knight of Swords. There is a momentum. There are conversations, prayers, journaling. I see some of you even singing or chanting or humming and using your voice to vocalize. Because again, I'm looking at the swords, using your words, your voice, your missives to vocalize the healing that you are receiving and are ready to receive and allow so that you can have this change. Right? You can radically change your results by shifting your beliefs. This is limiting beliefs around what you can have, what you can hold on to. And so talking about limiting beliefs, and the title that Spirit gave me of this video, pile number one, remember, is Love with No Limits. No limits. Totally. So limiting beliefs is automatically X'd out here. And the star is giving you that. Now, goblins, we don't even have to spend a lot of time there. We know what that is. It's those fears of what's happened in the past. It's those experiences that you've been through. Those things that keep us in that state of, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. There's some guilt here. It says remorse, regret, and feelings of culpability. So some of you could have, based on those goblins being, put this down, goblins being, the people, the circumstances, the things that may have hurt you, blocked your heart chakra a little bit, Rhodonite. There's some guilt. Some of you are beating yourselves up over it. Think, woulda, coulda, shoulda syndrome. I should have known better. I should have acted faster. I should have ended it sooner. I should have left that job. I know that I deserved better. I should have shown up better for myself. All kinds of scenarios can play out around that guilt card. But here you are, clairvoyance. Right now, Spirit is saying this transit, this Mars-Pluto conjunction in Aries, during Aries season, it's opening up your knowledge, inspiration, talking about Mars energy, fiery energy, inspiration, interpretation, and trust. Your ability to trust your own thoughts. Once you get past, take the time to get still, acknowledge whatever guilt or, whatever forgiveness you need to apply to yourself or to others. And then that's what opens up. That's what opens you up. You rediscover your courage and bravery. You rediscover yourself. You rediscover what your possibilities are, the star, hope, going forward. And the water bearer, understanding that while this is an air sign, while Aquarius is an air sign, it is also the water bearer. What does the water do? The water bears life. We cannot sustain life without water. And so the star, on the one hand, always has 1 foot planted on the earth and 1 foot near the water. It is that act of going between what is to the flow of life and what can be. And that is what Uranus does as the ruling planet of Aquarius. It says, I'm here to change it up. And then you had your other confirmation here. You can radically change your results by shifting your beliefs. This is where you're headed. All right, this whole section over here. I parked the goblins and the guilt over there. This is the work that you got to do during this time. In stillness, you receive. The Hermit is about that healing, ruled by Virgo, which very much is about brass tacks, practicality. What do I need to do to get rid of this? Do I need to listen to affirmations, meditation tapes? Do I need to try to do some rewiring the brain and reconditioning my beliefs to make sure that I am open to my clairvoyance, so that I can receive the inspiration and trust my interpretations, that I know what to do. I know how to act. I know how to get into that space of feeling like that Queen of Pentacles. And again, that's not gender specific. It is about a nurturing feeling. With the King of Pentacles, it's about maintaining that money or prosperity or abundance, including love. It is about maintaining and sustaining. But queens are, because it's in feminine energy, queens are about the share. Queens take it and spread it around, and there's always more to have. It's, come on in. Of course you can come sit down for dinner. We can always, make one more plate kind of energy. All right. So again, pile number 1, can't stress it enough. Rhodonite would be really, really good for you right now. And your love no limits is coming through this change, as once you take the time to go through the healing process and forgive whatever's holding up from the past. Look at that for what it is. If you've been trying to bury it and just say, hey, I'm over it. You know how we do. Oh no, I'm good. That's always our first response, right? But it's okay. Even if you're not good, because there's something there that has to still get worked through for you to shift over to here and trust your clairvoyance, so that you do become brave enough to open your heart again to the changes that are coming. And that means changing your fundamental beliefs around your ability to have, receive, sustain, and grow love. All right? All right, pile number 1. That was an awesome reading. And I hope you enjoyed that. And it was very true to what's happening, astrologically. I love that. All right. For pile number 2, those of you who were drawn to the Serpentine, let's see what's going on for you. Which one did you get? Which catalyst? You got the Emperor. All right. Pile number 2, your catalyst is the Emperor. And put that there. So that's that Aries energy, that Mars energy, that can do, must do, will do, won't stop, and sometimes can be a little run amok if you get a little impatient. This is an energy where the self is not destructive, but it is very authoritative. And it can be where, there can be a little impatience there when others don't see what you see. So let's see. Let's see how that comes for you. All right. We have setting boundaries. It's a real interesting energy to come with that Emperor as your lead. Cleaning house. Ooh, taking charge. All right. Mother, Father, God. Ooh, let's put that near the Emperor. Why don't we? It's really interesting because that is the divine masculine. And so when we say Mother, Father, God, I bet that there's an energy here where to incorporate the feminine as well to not counteract. There's nothing wrong. The Emperor is an amazing energy, and it gets things done. It's how we build civilizations. Our world leaders. The ones in history to whom we still want to think about, not a lot of this crap going on right now, right? All right. The universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love. Yes, indeed. You have the second house of resources. That's really interesting. The second house of resources comes up. I feel like I need to keep that over here near the, nope, that's cleaning house. Got it. This is not your practice life, so you got to decide. Yep, that goes there near the Emperor taking charge. We have obsidian as your crystal that comes through that will help you, and it says death to the well-organized mind. Death is but the next great adventure. So there is that adventure. Emperor energy. Emperor is a visionary. The Emperor energy is where you are able, talking about Mars. I want the new job, and here's what I'm going to do to go get it. I want the new house or the new apartment or the new relationship or the new love. I want the new me. So I'm going to take my supplements. I'm going to exercise. It is that can-do energy. And obsidian gives you that raw strength to be able to do that. All right? I'm going to put that obsidian right there. I want to make sure you can see it. And I'll put this over here. All right, so there's the obsidian. Now, let's get the rest of your cards down. We have a conflict. A disagreement, a tug of war, dispute, tension, or differing viewpoints. That has to do with that setting boundaries. I'm going to put you there. We have the world. Yeah, you are ready to grow beyond. And the magician, doggone it. Go ahead, Spirit, bring it. With the King of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. All right. Okie dokie. Let me soak this in for a second, because as I said, I don't see these cards until I start reading for you. Well, well, well. Pile number 2, no wonder you got this obsidian and the death, meaning the strength, meaning being ready to embrace an adventure. I'm gonna hold that up for you again. All right, ready to embrace an adventure, and a very strong, there's a scorpionic quality to that. Which, by the way, when we talk about death in tarot, death is ruled by Scorpio. Scorpio being co-ruled by Pluto and Mars. Mars, I believe, is its historical ruler, and more recently it was switched to Pluto. So there, talk about this reading and the theme of this reading and proof that your guides are here to give you a message. There you have it. A combination of Mars and Pluto energy represented with this obsidian energy. All right, now, you are pile number 2. It's like, okay, been there, done that. And you are focused on new ways to grow your resources. You are very attracted to manifestation. I'm looking at this, and that's not even hard to, that's not even Afefe being brilliant. That's just me reading the words. You know what I mean? Like, this energy is so clear for you all, pile number 2, because the magician with the world says, I am ready to change. I am ready to evolve. I'm ready to go into a new direction and be the co-creator with the universe. The world brings change. The world is ruled by Saturn, which is, it is about that structure. And sometimes it can be a little tough and resistant. But the magician is not afraid of that resistance. The magician says, I'm going to take that structure that you offer and I will alchemize it in a way that takes me in the direction that I want to go in my life. And here it says the universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love. So that's what's happening here with the magician and the world. And going back to your resources, your second house, you all, pile number 2, are literally in the act of creating a different vision, the Emperor, Mother, Father, God, and working, co-creating, Mother, Father, God, co-creating with the universe. Like literally, you are tapped in. And if you haven't been feeling like you're tapped in, then that's a part of what this transit, this Mars-Pluto transit in Aquarius is going to do for you all. It's going to get you, you're going to realize that you're tapped in. There is an awakening. There's that Mars energy. There's an awakening that's coming for you all. And you're going to know you're tapped in. You're going to know that spirit, Mother, Father, God is your resource. Let me say that loud and clear. Spirit is your resource. Pile number 2. Now, you got a little homework to do. So I'm focusing right here on this center. Setting boundaries, a threshold, protection, and honor, and cleaning house. And a conflict. All right. Let me put these here for a moment. Because this is an energetic pattern right here. You know, there was a time, either recently or in the distant past, or this even could be a life pattern, that especially as it relates to your love language or your ability to give and receive love, sustain it in all areas of your life, most especially for you all, pile number 2, not just in having a significant other, but this is all tied in, excuse me, tied into your lifestyle. And for some of you, you have lived a certain lifestyle with another, or you have always craved that. You've seen the combination of resources, you know, 2 better than 1 type of thing, as a means to living the kind of life and feeling loved, feeling valued, because that's what the second house does. Is it is about what we value, not just hard cold cash, but value. Valuing our home, valuing our relationship, valuing our family, valuing our self-worth even. So something here, that setting boundaries and cleaning house, you know, and this disagreement, this conflict that happened or is happening. Yeah, that part. Spirit is saying, thank goodness your catalyst here is the Emperor, because you will not be stopped. And the only backup you need right now, pile number 2, is to recognize that Spirit has your back. The divine has your back. Mother, Father, God. So whoever in your life may have played quote unquote God, if you felt manipulated, if you felt devalued, and there was that, or unheard, you know, or had someone overbearing, sometimes that energy can come as well. Because remember, we talked about that aggression sometimes of the Emperor. And let me just go ahead and say this as well, because Spirit showing it to me. For some of you, this is related to a father figure or a husband figure or a former lover, but someone who was in a position of whose opinion mattered, whose authority mattered, who had sway over how your life showed up materially. This is relating to them. Notice as well, we've got the King of Pentacles and we have the 4 of Pentacles. So this conflict, I'm going to go ahead and join those cards in this middle section here. This conflict had something to do with how you either grew up understanding your value in relation to how life looked around you. You needed to look a certain way, dress a certain way, live a certain lifestyle, have a certain amount of money in the bank, etc., etc. This is definitely coming up in your Pentacles. So that's what's leading me to think, and those resources, the value. But you are right on the precipice. This is not your practice life. Decide. What is I'm reading upside down. What is your inner voice telling you about the dream in your heart? Pile number 2. The dream in your heart. Because that is what enables you. That dream in your heart is what connects you to Mother, Father, God. And again, take all of that with, adapt it to the way that you believe. Some people have issues with that term. Some people totally embrace that term. But however you relate to higher source, here's you and here's the higher source. However you say that. But Mother, Father, God in this situation with the magician and the world, yeah. And the universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love. Let me put that. I'm feeling that needs to go over here with Mother, Father, God, because that's it. You are undergo this Mars-Pluto conjunction in Aquarius. You are going to undergo or are undergoing a drastic realignment with God, Goddess, higher self, guides. It is getting yourself back in check with them, because somehow in life, the vision, there's been so much, either you were oppressed or overrun, or, someone had control. And again, this could have gone back to childhood, etc. But there was a pattern of it, and that's why you're learning to set boundaries, or you have had to learn to set boundaries. And in doing so, you had to clean house. So that could have meant a breakup. It could have meant a divorce. It could have meant leaving a job, starting a new career. Cleaning house is an indicative of just basically Plutonian energy that says, I'm cleaning house. Things as they were are not going to be that way any longer. And in doing so, your magic, your resources, your ability to alchemize the world that you live in right now, how it shows up, whether it is wanting the relationship you never had, or finally giving yourself let me start to cover up some of this energy. Let's just coat it over. All right. Let's add a different layer. All right. Because that conflict is going away. And you are realigning with the power, the greater power, to have firm boundaries, to have a fresh start. That's what cleaning house does. It creates the space for you to be able to have that fresh start. And what that does is it brings in resources. It shifts the dynamic of the resources that you have. Your friend groups, your doors to romance, your ability to revamp an existing relationship, and keep it strong and keep it nurturing, and continue to have a vision for it going forward. But all roads for you, pile number 2, lead back to the highest source there is. However you identify with that, that is what allows you to change the framework, the structure of your world, to be the person who is that co-creator, the magician. And to understand, that's how, when you are in the magician mode, that's how the universe powerfully responds to you. Because your vibration, you're so tapped in that all of this that happened before, peekaboo, no, it is literally taken care of. It's handled. I just heard that in my what was her name in the show Scandal? Remember Olivia Pope? She was, it's handled. All right. That's how I feel Spirit is saying to you. Powerfully responds, and Spirit is like, it's handled. If you want more love in your life, whether you want that romantic love, whether for you, some people's love language is material, to show the gifts, the flowers, the candy, the investment accounts for that matter, like showing the stability that the emperor can provide. That is what gets you thriving in a no limits vibe toward love. But for you, there is this realignment and there is this recalibration, because what you were exposed to and some of the experiences you've been through around being controlled or devalued, or being told that you couldn't have what you wanted, whether that was directly being told or subliminally, and your subconscious began to take that in, and that's how that conflict arose. So there's that house getting cleaned out, those boundaries set, and it is now covered up. Turn the chapter, new page, the world, the magician, you're in the co-creator seat with Mother, Father, God, right? And you have decided, that's the decision you've made. And obsidian, my friends, is the stone that will help you during this time. Very, very strong stone. All right? All right. That was so powerful. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback. And with that, we are going to move on to pile number 3. Those of you who were drawn to the Smoky Quartz. Well, it's no secret. If you've watched the whole thing, you know already what's coming because we got the other two cards that already came up. So clearly, your catalyst for pile number 3, if you chose the Smoky Quartz, your catalyst in this Mars-Pluto transit in Aquarius is the Tower card, representing Pluto. Interesting. And I started to pull Death, just so you know, because some of you know tarot, and so the Death card is also very closely tied to Mars and Pluto. But there was something about this Tower effect that Spirit, I had actually taken the card out, and Spirit said, no, it's the Tower. There's something there around rebuilding, around fearlessness. Because for a lot of people, there are so many, and perhaps if you were drawn to this pile, Spirit is your spirit guides are saying, for you, pile number 3, there is this, or there has been this almost anticipation of what could blow up, what could go wrong, whether, or not wrong necessarily, but how drastic changes could be. That for some of you, you focus on that even prior to anything actually happening, that's just sort of your consciousness, this expectation of that. And so in order for you to get to a place of love without limits, you have to be able to see that, face it, but put it in its proper context. That yes, maybe things are really drastically being shaken up in the world, maybe even in your own lives. I feel for some of you, you've either had health issues or you've been around health issues. You've seen the seriousness of them and the consequences of them, but that is not meant to make you afraid. It's meant to take you from that state of what's happening in that situation and move you into another state of being. Having said that, now I want to see your cards. We have the 3 of Wands. We have Temperance, talk about healing. I just said health. I was feeling that. And again, I do not see these cards until I reveal them for you. The only thing I chose were the 3 catalysts, but I didn't know which pile they would be in. We have the 8 of Cups and the 10 of Wands. Yeah, healing from a lot of heaviness. You have tangled, confusing thoughts, mixed messages, distortion, obsessive thinking. That's that healing. And getting stronger, though. The gemstone, the Regent Diamond, arrogance. Oh, the cleverness of me. I think this is, I'm going to put this on top of the Tower. It says the Regent Diamond. I want you to see that message. All right. But I think the reason you got that's not calling, Spirit's not calling you arrogant. I think what's happening is, for some of you, your vision of life really got challenged or is being challenged at this time. And it's like seeing things crystal clear. There has been arrogance around you, or if in fact, being perfectly honest with yourself, if you have tilted over into a sense of, I got it, I know I got it, blah, blah, blah. Or you could even be, the changes that you've gone through are teaching you to use arrogance, but hopefully in a more constructive way, meaning just believing beyond any doubt that you can have what you want, that your life will be rebuilt, that your ability to love again and be loved is absolutely on tap. Now, you have anxiety isn't trying to limit you, but free you from a situation that no longer feels good. Thank you, Spirit. Again, one of the reasons I do my picker cards this way, you all, is I love the way that Spirit comes through with a theme, with a message, with a narrative, with a story that applies to you from so many different decks. I do not see these cards. So I'm asking Spirit to tell you, to show you. So look, you just had that tangled web, that sort of confusing thoughts. And then here we have anxiety, right? We talked about healing right away with that Tower. The 8 of Cups is that card of emotional intelligence. When you've been through something to the point, 10 of Wands, overburdened, oppressed, over it, emotionally over it. because it caused anxiety. And that's where the Tower comes in and says no more. And there is either part of this is the arrogance that you've been exposed to from others. And so the blow up could have even been some latent anger inside of you. I've got an opposition, which is confrontation. Ooh, I like that, actually. Because it's almost like you've been pressure cooked to a point of saying, I am going to do something different. Believing in spiritual guidance gives me certainty and the freedom to keep dreaming even when I can't yet see the result. That is a part of your healing as well. That's the healing from that which has been bringing you, overburdening you, taxing you. Some of you have not been sleeping. You're overthinking things. You're playing the same scenario over and over and over again with either how a breakup happened or the breakthrough that you really want. It does. Some of you could lean a little bit into obsession, but I'm always, my cup is always half full, not half empty. And I encourage that for you all. So having said that, if there's a little bit of tendency to overthink and obsess, borderline obsess on things where you just can't stop thinking about it, you keep rerunning the tapes and it's not getting you anywhere. And so that confrontation is saying, you got to come to grips with that. Forgiveness and understanding. Look at this. Forgiveness and understanding. That's where it's leading you to, pile number 3. That's where all this disruption is leading you to. And you've got the dragon's lair. Know too, many of you already do. This is the year of the wood dragon. And you got the dragon's lair. You got backup. You got power. And you have a guide. The illuminated path. Doggone it. I love it. I love it. You know how we do it, different decks, because the dragon this year, if you pulled this this pile, number 3, if that was your choice, definitely, if you have not already done so, please do some research and looking into the meaning of this being the year of the dragon, okay? Look into that, because for you all, the dragon is speaking up very loudly and saying, I'm here as a guide. I'm here as a friend. I'm here to help illuminate your path with my essence, with my being, with my protection. That arrogance, going back to that, some of you, some of you went through it. I'm just going to leave it at that. You know what that means, in your own situations. But some of you went through it. And for some of you, this was family not cooperating, not giving, being very oppositional, being very, putting responsibilities on you or expressing their opinions over your life in a way that you were trying to live up to. But it was hard, and it was deflating you rather than lifting you up or making you feel like you were supported. It was adding too much weight. And so your healing and getting to this love with no limits is like canceling out that part that someone else's opinion matters, and deciding, I'm not going to have this confrontation anymore. If there's opposition, so be it. You don't like, that's one thing. If Aquarius doesn't do much else in a wonderful way, which is not true. Aquarius is like phenomenal. But one of the most stark traits around Aquarius energy is its ability to stand up and be the voice, to take the road less traveled, to speak with conviction, to move with conviction, to live with conviction, that even if someone, I don't care if you all have always done it this way. That is very often when the tower energy will come, you all, with Pluto, is when something's been done the same old all the time. And Spirit just says, no, it is time to switch it up in a drastic, real way. You, pile number 3, have either had to go through that experience before, or you're still undergoing that experience. And so the way out but it's cost you. And the way out of it is to see something bigger than the person, the thing, the past history, the scars that you bear. Because some of you really do bear scars. I'm going back to that 10 of Wands. Some of you do bear scars, emotional scars. And so there's that. That's why we got that forgiveness and understanding that came up for you. That forgiveness and understanding is your key to releasing the conflict, releasing the thoughts, releasing the obsessive thinking at times, or what can teeter over to that. And sometimes not giving yourself the space and the patience needed to heal, because that's what Temperance is offering here. Temperance ruled by Sagittarius. So it is optimistic, it is adventurous, it is open, it studies philosophies. Some of you, if you pulled this, if you were attracted to this pile, it's time for you to undergo a different type, spiritual guidance. It's time for you to undergo, maybe take a different type of class, maybe broaden your spiritual walk in a different direction, going back to the Tower. And it may be quite a different direction. It may be something you didn't anticipate ever doing, but it leads you to your healing path. Because the Temperance card is also a card of alchemy. It is where you take different points of view. And I think we had this over here somewhere, didn't we? About different points of view, confusing thoughts, mixed messages, and over obsessive thinking. I thought I saw something about different points of view. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But the energy is about taking two sides of a story, two people, two things, your history, your past, and blending it with your present, or what you're moving toward in the future. This no limits love. There can't be any limits once something is picked apart and deconstructed. That's the word. Thank you, Spirit. Pile number 3, you are going through a period of deconstruction so that you can reconstruct. The deconstruction is walking away emotionally, clean slate, building your reserves emotionally. 3 of Wands, building your reserves. And that's why I think too, studies for you all, joining groups of people who are dynamic, who are spiritual. The Dragon's Lair, definitely into metaphysical circles, being around people who understand how to manifest love of self, love of life, love of prosperity, abundance, love for humanity, all these areas of love. They do it together though. You don't have to do this. This is not a lonely, it's not designed to be a lonely period for you. And that forgiveness is an understanding that comes through the spiritual guidance. You have 2 very strong spiritual guidance energies here. The guide that comes, well, first, not to mention the dragon, right? The dragon came for you as a guide. And then you've got that call to spiritual guidance to help you manifest this love and be in a loving state. In love with life, I'm hearing, pile number 3. In love with life. And some of you got cheated out of that for a while in your past. You really did. You got cheated out of that. And so that confrontation for you is actually pretty healthy. The Tower for you is actually pretty healthy, because it says whatever that arrogance was, whatever that was, that hard as a diamond that had to get, you've had to really dig to find your worth. This is also about you finding yourself as that diamond, your worth, your shine, your ability to show up and be appreciated for who you are, rather than being dumped on or overtaxed or overburdened or neglected or taken for granted. It's like, no. That's done. And the confrontation, whether it's been a literal one, whether it's having that, I'm out of here with the job, or I'm out of here with the relationship, or I'm recovering from a death, or, a death in the family, a death of a spouse, however that has shown up for you, but you are tough and you are healing. And you're learning a lot about, through forgiveness and understanding, you're learning a lot about where you want to go next on your path. And that is going to include tremendous love. And it comes through this dragon. That dragon is bringing you tremendous love. Please, If you don't take anything else away from your reading, pile number 3, please look up the dragon, the wood dragon that rules this year, the year 2024, that just came, I guess, the start of the Chinese New Year last week, I believe it was. Or was it earlier this week? But I know it just happened. Like we just went into the year of the dragon. 19 might also be a special number for some of you if you were drawn to this pile. But that dragon is giving you major, like a pump up, like a protective layer, like and I feel like I want to give you another stone. Hold on. Appetite. What is that for, Spirit? A temporary halt. Now and then it's good to pause in our pursuit of happiness and just be happy. Wow. A temporary halt. So a temporary halt to the conflict? A temporary halt to the thought. Well, no, we ain't temporarily halting them thoughts. Those obsessive thoughts, we're going to nix those. We're going to get rid of those and grow beyond it. That's that 3 of Wands. That definitely will be helped by you getting in groups of people. But there's also not pushing so hard. You know, for some of you, this also speaks to you could really expect a lot of yourselves. That's one reason why you may have gotten caught up in that 10 of Wands energy. 10 of Wands is being overburdened. It's okay. You can be a yes person. Yeah, you need this. Sure, I got it. Okay, yes. When do you need it by? Sure, I can do it. Yes, I can make it. You know, and you become overburdened. But that's and sometimes we do that because we see it as a means to happiness, a means to recognition, a means to having our worth validated by others. So that appetite is saying, you know what? It's okay to pump the brakes if you need to. And to just say, hey, just be happy. I don't even have to summon it in. I don't have to try to imagine it. I don't have to overwork it. I don't have to overthink it. You know? Anxiety isn't trying to limit you, but to free you from a situation that no longer feels good. All right? That's what it's doing. It's freeing you up. These thoughts are trying to free you to get you past it and to get you to that place of the 3 of Wands where things start to open up and grow for you. So you need that appetite as well. And it leads you to that forgiveness. It leads you to your spirit guides. And the confrontation, if it has not happened yet and it needs to, then the dragon's lair, that dragon medicine is going to help you know how to handle it. Mars and Pluto, that fiery, even though it's coming with the ice energy right there, but that Arctic energy right there, but it puts things in perspective. And it comes in a very protective way to you, for you, pile number 3. All right. So that's your path, your guide, the illuminated path to unlimited love. It is owning up to the fact that you've taken on too much, or somehow you said yes too much. You tried too hard. You did too much. And now it's time to heal. And it's time to recalibrate. And that has to change. Things are being deconstructed so they can get reconstructed for you. And your forgiveness and understanding is a pathway. It gets you out of the obsessive thinking, the playing the tapes over again, the blame game, all the things that we can do to ourselves that don't get us to the next point. And the dragon will get you to the next point, hands down. All right? Okay, pile number 3. I hope that was enjoyable. Take good care of yourselves. If you're interested in booking a reading, you can visit my website, which is trulytouchedbytarot.com. I'll link it down below. And let's see, I think that's about it. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day, or whenever you see this, I wish you absolutely a life of love without limits. Take care of yourself. Bye.